Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. We're going to take a dive into Algorand today. We're looking at the daily time frame just to see what's going on here. So you can see straight off, I've got this trend line in. Okay, so we held this monthly. We held this from this low from June all the way up until November, which was our previous support for Algo at around 28 cents. Now what you can see is, okay, every time you came up to this point for support, you was putting in higher highs, okay, but you held this level of support, this horizontal level of support, and what this created was something called a right angled broadening wedge, which is a bearish continuation pattern where you've got this horizontal level of support, you're putting in higher highs, but once you come down and lose this support, you confirm that this was actually a bearish pattern. Now what you can see is when this support, this 28 cent support that I've got here was lost, okay, and we turned it into resistance and ran into these EMAs in this downtrend. You can see that what's happened now is we've put in a new low, okay, potentially this is our local low for now, for the time being. And what's happened is over the last I think it's over the last week to 10 days, you can see that Algo has had a bit of relief, a bit of a rally here, and you are dragging up this 10 and 20 EMA looking for a bull cross. Now if you do get a cross over where the 10 crosses over the 20 like this, okay, that's a good sign. What we need to see is a pullback for confirmation of support, which I'm going to get into in a minute. You don't want to, you know, impulsively break up like this, because what will happen is you would literally just come down just as quick as you went up, and it's not healthy. So at the moment this isn't looking too overextended. It would be nice to see some sort of pullback, of which I'm going to get into on the smaller time frames in a second, or at least get a fib on to show you where I'm looking for support if we do get rejection. But the bigger picture here is the fact that this was our multi-month support. It wouldn't surprise me if you start to see Algo, as long as it does well and holds support and puts in higher lows, start to work its way up towards this previous support and look to turn it into new resistance. Again, this is what happens in downtrends, okay? You lose support. Once you lose them and meet a technical target to the downside, of which I do think Algorand did meet a 2 fib. So from this local high where it put in at 45 cents, we was retracing from that high back down to the local lows of support, which was actually our lowest point was back here in June. So the 1 fib was at 27 cents. You can see that we actually came down to the 2 fib once we lost that 28 cents area of support, okay, this previous support that I keep talking about. Once we lost that, we actually came down and met this 2 fib. So we did get a bit overextended. You can see that the price was shoved down. So right now you are getting some sort of V-shaped recovery right here, and what you could be looking for, I'm going to show you now, as I said, is potentially working your way up to this previous support, turning it to resistance. Does it have to get there? No, it doesn't. But again, we need to look at all options here, and this could provide us with an opportunity of around 45% from current move. Now I'm not saying that this is going to melt off into the moon. Again, I'm not saying that, but what normally happens is once you lose support, and we've lost it quite impulsively to the downside here, you do start to see yourself work back up to these EMAs. Now if you zoom out to the weekly, what you'll notice here is that what Algorand's trying to do right now is work its way back up to these EMAs on the weekly. So I'm going to get rid of this quickly, and you can see that again this was key support. When you zoom out, it's a bit easier to see, and again, as I said, this was potentially a right angled broadening wedge. You lost the support. Right now we've come down to the 2 fib target and are looking to retrace back up to this support to turn it to resistance. As I said, it doesn't have to get there. We will have key indicators above we need to break through, i.e. this 10 EMA. This is potentially where we're looking to pump up to right now and meet as resistance. So I'll give us targets again for that in a second. I will look at retracement targets and bullish targets moving forward, try and cover all the bases for you guys. But again, so that's my overall perspective. We've got a bit overextended. We're looking for this relief into these EMAs, potentially back up to this previous support to turn it to resistance, and at that point we'll have to monitor what goes on moving forward. But you can see that this was a bit of an overextension move, so it's not surprising to see Algo pick up like this at these lows, and you have, you know, on a more zoomed out scale, retraced back to this area of support that there was a juicy area. You know, if you got involved back in with Algo here and you appreciate all this upside, fair play to you guys, you know. But unfortunately, some of us have been buying up at these highs, and some people have been waiting for these opportunities to come down. And for me, this is a generational opportunity to get involved in Algorand. As I said, I'm not expecting exponential moves and for you to just moon off. It could happen, don't get me wrong, but again, the trend is your friend until the end, and until algo breaks out of certain levels of resistance and confirms them as support, we have to keep in mind that regardless of these rallies, that we may potentially start to see lower lows depending on the situation here of the markets, you know, and how Bitcoin behaves and so on and so forth. So again, getting into these smaller targets for you guys, if we look at the daily time frame again here, I'm going to clear off and take off these EMAs for a second. If we are potentially running into resistance, you can see that right now, a bit more zoomed in, you can see that we are running into previous resistance right here, currently speaking, which we met on the 17th of December. So you came down to this low, ran into this as resistance, and then got forced down. Right now, you've got this V-shaped recovery back into this resistance. And potentially, what we could be working towards is going from this low, we're retracing back up to this 45 cent area. Again, as I said, what I'd be looking for is this previous support to be turned into resistance, and what you can see is that this band here of support that we was holding ties up with this 050 fib retracement to 27 cents. So from this low, what I'm trying to say is retracing to this high where we could expect strong resistance. If we do break out, hold support, and start to work our way up towards this sort of point, we could expect resistance at 27 cents, as that's the 050 fib here on the daily time frame. So again, it still would provide us with a large opportunity from this point, bearing all goes well, of around 40% up to previous support, looking to turn it to resistance. That is my overall target, I think, for algo in the next couple of months if the market does see relief. But first, because we have had quite a few days of impulsive moves, what I'd be looking for right this second potentially would be a pullback to support, because you've got this, the EMAs being dragged up here. You are above the EMAs, which is healthy, but I think we would form this bull cross. We could form this bull cross and look to form a higher low for us to break out and confirm this bull cross here between the 10 and 20. So if we do meet resistance at this point, as we've met it before, okay, and we do start to pull back here, potentially what I would be looking for is a pullback to 17, around the mid to low 17 cent area, looking for some sort of higher low. And if you do get a bounce off here, you've got this low, you've come up impulsively, you come down correctively, form a higher low. At this point, if you start to come up and tackle this one fib at 19 cents, which is our current resistance point, and I say current because we are literally running into that today, if you do start to pull up and break above that point, then this is where I think you will start to put in that move back up to that 20 cent area and that 0.50 fib target that we was looking at a second ago. So that's my general outlook there for algo. If all goes well and we do hold support here and have some sort of pullback, I would be expecting this breakout up to this previous support, turn it to resistance at 28 cents over the next couple of months for algo here. So that's my potential targets, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for my next video releases. Until next time, have a good evening, guys. Take care. From Chart Nerd TA. Peace out.